Yo, this is Soul Drum 86 bringing you another video. Now, I thought that I was going to be done making content until next week. Specifically, I want to make content after when, we get the news about Universe Mode, see what that's going to be all about. But a lot of my videos ideas get sparked from watching other content. Maybe something is said in the video or several videos. I'll see things in the comment section that kind of spark, okay, I want to talk about this. Instead of me writing a comment down myself or replying to somebody, I'm saying, let me talk about this subject, right? And the subject that we're going to be talking about today is the excuse that a lot of people give, a lot of gaming companies, not just 2K, but because we're talking about 2K, we're going to relate it all to 2K, is you'll hear people in their videos constantly say this, right? I understand why fans are frustrated, but 2K is a business. I get it. Making that okay with the nickel and diming, the microtransactions, the pay to win tactics, all of that, the gambling, all of that, right? They make it make sense by saying 2K is a business, so I get it. When you look over just the landscape of all forms of entertainment, things in our daily life, a lot of people, we've been having that mentality for far too long. I look at Netflix as an example. Netflix used to be extremely cheap a month, and they still have a cheap package, but Netflix used to be cheap, and it was really just one package. I don't even, it wasn't, they did start adding multiple packages, but overall it was cheap. And what you got, you pretty much got everything. There were no ads. There was no commercials. It was supposed to be different than watching network TV, right? You were supposed to be able to watch movies and TV shows uninterrupted. Not only that, but you got everything that was given to you on the platform. Now you look at Netflix, we have ads, we have packages that cost, more. And if you have the lowest package, because you're trying to keep things cheap for yourself because of all the other streaming services that you may have, subscribed to, now they lock movies behind the lowest package. So if you have the lowest package, not only are you getting ads, but you're also not getting everything that's available on the platform. You're getting most of it, but not everything. Doesn't that remind you of the gaming company or the gaming industry? 2K, every year they ask us pretty much to spend more money, whether it's due to my faction, whether it's, pay for this $130 version of the game so you could play it early, play this 100 or pay $100 to play it early. And then now, it's getting more egregious because now you're spending all of this money and you don't even have a physical copy to, show for it. You're spending all of this money just for a digital copy. But people are going to say, well, 2K is a business. I get it. There's no reason for them not to have a physical copy of the Dead Man edition. There's no reason for them not to have a copy of the $130 edition. We used to get physical copies of all of these editions. We used to be able to go into the store and pre-order if we wanted to pre-order. Or when it comes out, we would just be able to go to the store and buy that edition. I said this in a previous video, they take away stuff and then they want you to pay more money. Essentially, it always is more money. This is why they're making the island for more money. They're taking away creation parts that you have to unlock in island mode, which before you never had to do. But 2K is a business. I understand, right? Every year, people want my rise to change. Get rid of the social media stuff. Then what happens this year when they do the showcase where they showed My Rise for 20 minutes and two lead developers on the My Rise, story mode? The girl Andrea, I believe her name was. What did she say when they first started showing the social media part? Oh, don't sleep on the social media part, even though she knows. They all know that the fans kind of go against the social media aspect of the game. They say it bogs the mode down, which it does. It's tough to play multiple playthroughs in My Rise when you're doing that just that social media stuff, looking at their DMs and talking to the wrestlers in the back and having to look to your left and to your right to talk to different people one at a time. They don't want to add free roam that people have been asking for. They don't want to add free roam to My Rise, which they've had years to do. Most importantly, universe mode. People have been asking for significant updates to universe mode. Okay, they gave us 2-night PLEs. They gave us promos. That's all we know so far. We don't know anything else. I'm willing to bet that there's not much added other than those two things because it's all they talked about. Remember, 2K is a company that is going to boast and brag about the big things that they see are big deals. So the fact that they only brought those two things up so far, I think you can kind of bank on that being the only thing that is going to be new and significant to universe mode. But yet fans have been asking for universe mode to be better ever since 2K15. And yet every single year we get these incremental, just small little updates every single year. So what are we paying for? They're asking us to spend more money. They're making things, you know, essentially a little more difficult for us every single year. And yet they want us to pay more money. But what are we paying for? When we pay that extra money, what are we paying for? You can be happy about the island and all that other stuff all you want. That's fine. But look at it from this aspect, right? You have people who are going to want to play the game early, right? There's people that are going to want to play the game on the 7th. They're not going to want to wait until the 14th. I believe those are the dates. The 7th is the early release, and then the 14th is the actual official release date. People aren't going to want to wait to that because the hype, right? You're pretty much paying for the hype when it comes to 2K, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. That's the power of marketing. That is the power of marketing. I don't think a lot of people realize what happens during a marketing season for anything. But you pay for the hype. Why do I say that you pay for the hype? Because listen, whether you grind it or you use your real dollars to make your player better, essentially what you're doing is you're paying $130 for a game to play it early. You're then going to, if you play both of these modes, you're going to spend money in my faction. And then you're going to spend money on the island. And you're going to do this all year. And you're most likely going to make multiple builds. Right? Because I've talked about this before. This is what happened with 2K. Influencers on YouTube, they influence, right? They don't necessarily have to tell their subscribers, hey, do this. But when subscribers are following people that they like, they tend to do the same things. They tend to get hype with the people that they follow. It happened with NBA 2K. People used to make unique builds and they used to just make one build. And now all of a sudden you go to YouTube or you go to NBA 2K content and you have all of these videos where people are making stretch bigs. They're making, slashing shooting guards, and they're making, whatever kind of point guard. They're making all of these different positions. So when you're making all of these different builds, it's going to influence the people that follow you to, hey, I want to make a different build too. And then on top of that, they give tutorials on how to make the build just like them. So essentially, the community isn't even making builds that are their own. They're making builds that are very similar, if not exactly the same as the people that they follow. And if they're doing multiple, then that's even more money. With the island, you could make 4 wrestlers. You think that that's not going to happen? It's going to be the same type of video content. There's going to be a bunch of WWE 2K YouTubers that are going to be like, oh, this is my high flyer. This is my powerhouse. This is my whatever. And you're not going to want to grind out every single one. What people fail to realize is everybody's life is different, right? Not everybody is going to essentially have the time or mindset to grind. So that's why these modes work out, because they kind of target the people who, say you work 60 or more hours a week. And when you finally get a chance to play the game, you're not going to want to just grind the game and you want to get on and you want to be able to be good immediately. You want your character to have all the nice clothes and ring attire and all of this other stuff. It's the same thing with NBA 2K. That's why whenever you buy NBA 2K, right? If you're somebody who still plays it, you already know. I don't even have to tell you. But go to the park and look at the overalls immediately. You got people that are at an 80 overall or more. You got people that are at a 90 overall, and the game just came out. It's day one, and the game just came out, and you have people who are like that. And then you look around a little bit, you see the brown shirt and the sweatpants, and you see like 60 something overall. You see like 70 something overall. And even when they're 70 something overall, you know that they spent money to get to that point. But you spend all of this money and nothing carries over. You're just asked to spend that money over again. So you spend the 130, you spend the microtransactions all throughout the year. And then when you're finally done with the game, when the new one's getting ready to come out with the old and in with the new. And now you essentially have to do that because on top of them asking you to pay more money, they shut the servers down quicker now. So these games don't even last like they used to before. 2K19 servers were up for a long time. I remember 2K18 servers being up for a long time. Previous games, they used to still be supported. You could still go to community creations and download stuff. And now they end that stuff like a year and a half. These games only last a year. So like a year and a half, then it's done. So you have to get the new game. So I ask you, is it okay because 2K is a company or a business? 2K is a business. So you understand? What are we paying for? Again, we're spending all of this money, all of the microtransactions, only to have to do it again and nothing carries over. And then on top of that, the biggest slap in the face is they didn't even work on the things that fans have been asking for. The one thing that I can say about Madden and EA is at least when people had a big backlash about franchise mode, I will give credit when credit is due. EA has done more with their franchise mode in the last, 3 years than they ever have before that. When franchise mode started really taking a back seat, when fans were really getting fed up. You guys remember that hashtag Fix Madden Franchise, to the point where they had to make a video and put it up on Twitter. Fans, we hear you. Not this season because, the game is getting ready to come out, but next year we are going to, put focus in franchise mode. And what did they do? They did that. They added so much to the franchise mode Madden. Now, granted, it's still not where it used to be back in the PS2 days. Even a little bit of the PS3 era, but it goes without saying, like, they did their damn thing. 2K hasn't done that yet with Universe Mode. They haven't done that yet. They always acknowledge it. Brian Williams in all of these interviews, he always acknowledged, yeah, we know the fans. Okay, if you know the fans want these things, how about you take some time to really perfect it and try to give the fans something that they can really have fun playing with? Because at the end of the day, universe mode, you have to have such a big imagination for that mode to even be remotely fun. Because the mode itself is not allowing us to do the things that we want to do in a universe mode. But ignore that. Ignore changes in My Rise and give us the island. And mark my words, they want that to be the most played game mode. Just like in NBA 2K, how it's the most played game mode, the city, like, playing my career. So what are we paying for when it comes to 2K? What exactly are we paying for? I never mind. In the past, I've never minded like paying for annual release titles. I never had the big complaints that everybody else had because at least back then, the annual titles were really good. You know, like Madden used to be amazing, especially when they had competition, when there was a multiple NFL games out. And those NFL games were good. I remember NFL Fever being pretty good. I actually loved that game. NFL 2K, of course, that's like some of people's like favorite football game of all time. And every NFL 2K was good. NBA Live had a stretch where it was always good. NBA 2K was always good. The wrestling titles that came out that were annual release, always good. So I never personally had a problem with maybe they should just do these games like every other year. It hasn't been until more recent years where that's been more of a talking point because people started seeing how little they were adding to the game as opposed to back in the day. They actually used to add more to these yearly titles than they do now. And that's why the big argument is always, well, maybe they should just kind of have a game come out and then every 2 years, then come out with a new game. Just make updates for a while. But what are we paying for, guys? We're giving a company money and they haven't updated Universe Mode the way that we want it. They haven't updated My Rise. They added My Faction, which people fought against, but it's here to stay. They haven't added really too many gameplay changes that we've also asked for. Things that we were able to do in SmackDown Here Comes the Pain and all those old school games. There's things that we still can't do in this game. So what are we paying for? At this point, I don't know. But 2K is a business. So I guess I understand. Anyways, man, it is your boy Soul Drum 86. I'll see you guys next week, and I'm out. Peace.